Hello, it's Rachel here. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. I don't think I can remember the last time I called my family and we all got together and sat down for a televised live TV event. Like, I actually can't remember it. Oh, wait, yes, I do. I think it was actually when there was a royal wedding a few years ago, and we actually went to the cinema and live streamed the wedding along with all these people all over the world because it just seemed like such a fairy tale. So much I want to say here. Look, I'm not sure if you have followed me for any amount of time, but I am a PR consultant. I worked as a TV news publicist for many years. I lived in the UK and London for 5 years. I worked at the big public broadcaster, the BBC. I've worked in TV, I've worked in news, I've worked for big organizations and helped them with storytelling and communications and crisis comms. So I had a very different lens than most people did when watching what was the sit down interview with Oprah with Meghan and Harry. And while I am not one to sit there and talk about gossip or fodder, I have no interest in those things. This is a story that is worth sharing. It's a story we're talking about because this is a moment in history, it's a moment in time. And there are a few takeaways that I think will be of interest to you if you own a business or if you're just someone who, like me, was really interested in how this is going to play out because we're just at the beginning of this. So I just want to share some takeaways with you, and I can guarantee you're going to maybe get a fresh perspective from this, something that can help you in your own business, and maybe give you a different perspective on the royals as well. So, number one, can I just say, Oprah is still a darn fine interviewer. She asked all the questions I would have asked. She asked all the questions I've been talking about with my girlfriends over coffee. I grew up watching Oprah. I grew up thinking, this woman's amazing. I want to be just like her. She knows exactly how to sit in the chair of every person. And she hasn't lost that humanity touch. And she was respectful and interested, but she was also like asking every question about their security, about, why didn't you get the baby photographed? What happened here? And when the jaw-dropping explosive comments came out about, oh yeah, they were asking, what color skin Archie was going to have. Her face was like everybody else's. Like, I just love this woman, and it's nice to see her still in her lane and still owning it. And I think she was the perfect interviewer to bring the story out for them. Number two, the media is a powerful thing. You probably already know this, but you actually don't really know until you've worked on the other side of it. As a news publicist, I dealt with a lot of crisis. Crises was just my everyday job, and it could be on the end of someone being accused of bullying. It could be a new program coming out. It could be a lot of criticism leveled at one person, and guess what? These are just people. They may have very important jobs. They may be visible on your screens or on your social media feeds, but I'm telling you, these are real people with real feelings and real challenges. And one horrible comment or many horrible comments, it can break you down. It can gnaw at the very essence of your being. I've seen it myself. I've seen the behind the scenes of it. It is a real thing. And even the royals know this, and they make the decisions around the fear of the media. It is a very unusual relationship they have. It was described in the interview by Harry as symbiotic. They need each other to exist. And that is so true. So, and every organization knows that, but they really understand the powerful machine that the media is. And I can tell you this, as powerfully as Oprah demonstrated, this is what you need to know. When you share your story to the right person on the right platform, you've got the right person to share it. You have taken over the game. It's not just a one side. You can actually take over the narrative. You can change the narrative by telling it to the right person, by shaping your message the right way. The media is the most powerful tool. You don't believe me? Look at what's happened in the US. Look at what's happened. We were at uni, they call it the fourth estate. I think it's more powerful than any government. It can bring down governments. So I'm just telling you right now, it is a powerful thing. Don't forget that, because it shapes our narrative and our perspective as well. Number three, the palace must respond. Look, I can only imagine what the communications people have been doing and probably had very little sleep over the last few weeks. But the truth is, they have to respond to something like this. The allegations and experiences that have been portrayed here, it's beyond explosive. It is, it's questioning every part of the monarch, so they have to respond. And if they dare, don't respond or say no comment or something very lightweight like that, it will prove every critic of that institution correct, that it's oppressive, that it's out of date, that it's more important than the people it serves. And that would just be so sad. And not just, let's just step back from this of what the monarchy is. I don't mean to be disrespectful of them. Look, I got swept up when I was living there in the curiosity and even the slight obsession of it. It's fascinating, and I actually started to really respect some of the traditions that they had and the history that's there. It's a beautiful thing. But when any organization or institution, becomes more important than the people it serve or the family that are in it, there's a problem. It's tragic. And I just think that it's a time for them to say something, because whether or not it was approved, whoever the firm is or whatever it is, these things need to be responded to. And just know, if you have a business, whenever someone is leveling a criticism at you particular or your organization, don't ignore it. Don't wait, because it does snowball. There is a snowball effect to the good publicity and the bad publicity. Don't ignore it. Nip it in the butt. Show up. Tell the truth, and tell it quickly. Number 4. This is what I think Meghan and Harry have demonstrated so beautifully. Your real, authentic story is the most powerful commodity you have. Now, the truth is, if you want to get all philosophical, the truth is just relative. It is, my truth is different to your truth. But the truth is, the timing of this interview, it was strategic. It was International Women's Day. The irony was not lost on me at all. It was smart. They didn't do it right when they had just rang the bell and said, we're not doing royal life anymore. They gave it time to breathe. They gave themselves time to breathe and see, okay, what's been going on here? How do we respond to this? What does our new normal look like? And they're still figuring that out. But the truth is, it felt like they needed to tell that story so they could close that chapter. And there is nothing worse than being told lies about you. And it's so easy to think of people as a commodity. But your story is a powerful thing. Never, never forget that. Number 5, mental health does not discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're part of the royal family. It doesn't matter if you're living off benefits. It doesn't matter if you're, living in a white upper class neighborhood. It does not discriminate. It makes me really sad seeing anyone question the integrity of someone who said, actually, I was struggling really hard and I was having suicidal thoughts. It's interesting to me because when I was in the UK, I remember very clearly there were campaigns that the members of the royal family supported, such as Heads Together, strong mental health campaigns. But it's clear that the optics of mental health still need to be considered. It's clear that mental health, we still have a long ways to go while we've made good strides. If any member of any family or the royal family can't get help because it just might be seen as too damaging, that is just a really sad state of affairs. And it just doesn't discriminate. Anyone has it. And I'm grateful that she was that vulnerable and shared that part, just so that other people can say, I've struggled with it too. Your story, no matter what your struggles have been, those pearls, it can help release other people. It can give freedom to other people. So don't hold that back. Number 6, the courage of speaking your truth is so powerful. I think of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. He shares this beautiful quote: courage isn't knowing that you're going to win. Sometimes it's knowing you're licked and doing it anyway. When you know that it's going to potentially damage relationships that have already been damaged, when you know it might challenge an institution that's been around for centuries. But sometimes you've just got to share your truth, because the truth is freedom. And I really believe everything that Harry and Meghan said to be true. And I've chosen to believe that, and I've chosen to share that with you today. And I want you to know that your truth is important. Your story and your perspective is a powerful thing. Last but not least, there's always hope. I'll be honest, there were some parts of that interview I found really hard to watch. It was just so sad, to be honest, because, I only know what everyone else knew. I didn't have any special inside access, but I saw Harry growing up. I saw him walking behind, his mother's coffin at Diana's funeral. And in a way, the world has embraced him. But at the same time, you never know what it's like to be in that bubble, the life that he lived. He said it once. He goes, what, you saw me waving, so you thought I was happy? No. And what I think is beautiful is, at the end, there was always hope. And there is always hope. Meghan talks about the story of the Little Mermaid, the princess who has to lose her voice so that she can go and meet the man that she falls in love with, but she gets her voice back. And I think right now there's nothing more powerful that you can use than your voice. It is a powerful thing. Never be silenced on the things that are important to you. Never be silenced when you feel that you're being portrayed in a damaging, untruthful, disparaging way. And I think it's really beautiful seeing the two of them. It is a love story, and it does seem to have not just a happy ending, but a beautiful beginning. And I cannot wait to see more of them in whatever way they choose to show up. So what I want to say to you is this: whatever your story is today, it's important. whatever you think about Harry and Meghan, I just really respect and honor people going, you know what? I'm going to take power of this. I'm actually going to share my story in a way that feels good to me. And you have the opportunity to do that today for whatever position you're in your business. So if you're interested in wondering, how can I share more of my story? What is she talking about? You can check out my website. I have a mastermind program where I work with faith-driven female entrepreneurs on helping master their message and getting their story out into the world. So I hope this has been of use to you. I hope it maybe gave you a fresh perspective, not just on royal life, but on something that's trending at the moment, because I think these are important stories of our times. And I think there's always a good lesson to be learned, not just in life, but in business as well. So if you like this video, subscribe and you can hear more about my musings, some PR strategies, and maybe some tips to help you create a life and business on your terms. Until next time, bye.